I don't deserve anything, but God has been blessing me, and with His good graces, and like I said, the people and the love that the people show me is overwhelming. The last time you and I did a big interview, did it at your house, and you were recovering from heart surgery. Have you made a complete recovery? I think it's good as I'm going to get. I mean, it's another miracle. I had 5 bypasses that they found by accident. Really, I was going to the doctor to get checked out, and I had a few little things happening. My wife made me go to the hospital, go to the doctor, and tell him what was going on, and he said, well, we'll see a cardiologist and make an appointment. And when they did, I talked to him and told him some things that were happening, and he said, well, I think we're going to, I had passed every test that you could pass. You know, the blood pressure was great, everything, heart rate, everything was great. And he said, I think I'm just going to check, I'm just going to really go into detail here and do a heart catheterization on you. I said, well, I don't think I need that. And he said, well, we'll just do it, just see. He said, if you need a stent, he said, which is probably what you might need. He said, I'll do that and you'll be home that evening. I said, okay. I made the appointment and I went in, and he did the heart cath, and he woke me up. I woke up from the thing, and he said, you're not going anywhere. He said, you're going straight to the hospital to have heart surgery. I was like, what? I was in shock. And I don't know. I was like, can I go home and think about this? And I said, you're going to be, cutting my chest open here and doing all this. And I'm like, I'd never even had a scar on my body. I mean, what is this? And anyway, my wife Nina at the time, she was shocked too. She was like, and they were putting me in the ambulance to take me down to Centennial. And I was just thinking, how your mind can be kind of rolling. What in the world is this happening, And she had posted something about, on my website and stuff on Facebook, that they had just found that, and that I was going to the hospital to have surgery. And just in the matter of a couple of hours, they put me in the ambulance, and she said, you're not going to believe how many people are praying for you right now. I mean, the number was staggering. I can't even tell you. And I had this calmness come over me, and I went down there, and the doctor came in. Dr. Todd was going to be my surgeon. And when he walked up, God spoke to me. It was like, this is the man that's going to fix you. That's the words that I heard. This is the person that's going to fix you. You're broken. As He does in our lives, whether it's spiritual, mental, physical, financial, whatever. You're broken, and I realize that you're broken, and you trust me, and I'll fix it. And so that's the attitude that I had. I just felt like I'm broken. I got to get fixed, because the doctor told me in a matter of a couple of days I would have died in my sleep. Not even knowing, probably. Or you would have died doing something and you never knew that you had a problem. And so I knew that it was a God thing. I knew that it was about higher power in control here, And so when they took me down to prep me for the surgery, my wife and a daughter and a son that were with me, or they were prepping me. And right before I was getting ready to go into surgery, I'm in this room, and right before they give me the shot, that's going to put me out, they walked out. And right before I heard this voice say, I've got you. And I was like, I looked around and I was like, who said that? There was nobody in the room. Nobody. And the nurse walked in and said, I'm going to give you the shots. This is going to put you out. And you wake up, you'll be in recovery. And I said, did you come and say anything to me? She said, no, I didn't say anything. Nobody's been in here. And I said, okay. I said, all right, you got me. And that was the way I went into it. And it was a calmness that I can't explain. I just know that through it all, I'm not scared of death. I'm not, matter of fact, I know what death's all about. You know, it's another realm of where we're going, and our spirit lives on.
And after that, then you got sick, you got pneumonia, and
yeah.
What else did you get?
What happened was the things that you don't realize when you're going into it. The doctors try to warn you about things. They say, well, rest, take care of yourself, eat right, blah, blah, blah. And so all that I had in my mind was, I want to get back out and sing. And I mean, it was like a week out of the hospital. The Isaacs were practicing for some shows they were going to do with Reba McEntire. And I just went. I said, I want to go see them. I want to see them when they were practicing. I went in there, and they were singing, and all of a sudden, I started singing with them. And it felt good, you know. I felt, well, I can sing, you know. I can do this, you know. And so 6 weeks later, I was out doing shows with the Brothers of the Heart, Mike Rogers, Ben Isaacs, Bradley Walker. We were on the road doing like I think we had 6 shows, I believe, and it was just some pretty hard singing. I mean, it's not something easy, you know. And I did those shows. So I thought, well, I've got that under my belt. I can keep on, and I keep on. Well, next thing you know, I'm in Texas doing a show, and I got within 3 songs into the show, and I couldn't get my breath. And I was like, what in the world's going on? And so I didn't realize it, but I just wasn't letting my body recover. So when you go through, anybody out there that's going through any kind of trauma, like a heart surgery or transplants or whatever, your body goes through trauma. And when it does, your immune system can go down. And my immune system was, I wasn't taking enough time to rest and build myself up. So rest is important, so important, probably the most important thing at the time. So when your immune system goes down, these things that you've had in your life before, you always have. Like I had Rocky Mountain spotted fever, I had pneumonia, and I had mono, Jeez. All at the same time, because they lie dormant in your body because your body's fought it off, but it's still there, but your body's been able to keep it at bay, you know, basically. And what people don't realize is if you let yourself get down and you go through something like that, these things can take over again. And so, man, the Rocky Mountain spotted fever, I was running a fever for 3 weeks, a high fever, and I was on the road trying to do shows. I was really, really sick and weak, getting weaker by the day. And so I wound up in the hospital. And I was in there, you know, for about a week, and they were trying to figure out what was going on, put me on these heavy antibiotics. And I finally got to where I could get up and walk around, because I couldn't even walk. I couldn't do anything. I mean, it was worse than the heart surgery. And so the antibiotics started kicking in, and they found those things in my system, my body, that I had those things. But unfortunately, when they send these things off, it takes sometimes 2 or 3 weeks to get back the results. So they don't really know what's going on. And so thankfully they did put me on those antibiotics because they thought that that's what it could be. And so that started kicking in. I think if I'd have kept going on longer and not doing anything about it, I wouldn't be here.
Well, how old are you now?
70.
You look better now than you did 20 years ago.
Well, I think, like I said, when they fixed the heart, I didn't have a heart attack. That was one good thing. But it's amazing what they can do with the heart. And I just express to anybody out there, if you have any questions, man, stay alert, get checked out, because what they did with my heart, when they basically, what he told me, he said, you have these 5 blockages And he said, we're not going to go in and put stents in. We're going to put, we feel like if we do that, because they were all 95 to 99% block. He said, if you weren't that bad off, we would do stents. But he said, since you have that, what we got to cut all that away. We have to go in and take these old roads out and put in new roads to these places in your heart. And that's what they did. And I'm glad they did, because, man, my heart, it hadn't missed a beat. Even through all that stuff that I went through, my heart was strong.